This is the FM Gold channel of All India Radio. In the program News Analysis, now we bring you a discussion on recent cabinet decisions. The participants are Rajiv Kumar, Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Devashish Panda, Additional Secretary, Department of Financial Services, and Santosh Tiwari, Journalist.
PM Jan Dhan Yojana, which was introduced in August 2014, has been a runaway success. It has now over 32 crore accounts. The whole idea of the government was, when the scheme was introduced, to provide bank accounts to those who were not able to open bank accounts till then, and also provide a platform through which government could ensure that the social sector entitlements could reach the needy, and also in a faster pace, in a digitized format. After 4 years, obviously Cabinet has improved the whole scheme. It has gone ahead and taken some decisions. Mr. Rajiv Kumar to explain the very basics of PM Jan Dhan Yojana and how it has been a runaway success, plus also why the government has taken some decisions to improve this scheme.
The major tenets of the the largest financial inclusion program, which was launched in 2014, was to bank the unbanked, to secure the unsecured, to fund the unfunded, and to serve the underserved areas, far-flung areas. Now, the success has been really, really great. We have 32.5 crores Jan Dhan accounts today, where we have not only been able to reach the unserved population, this also has 24.51 crores RuPay cards. Total deposits, the saving habits, have shown that it is 82,000 crore deposits in these accounts. The another aspect has been that the securing the unsecured, so insurance, at just 1 rupee per month, the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana has 14.02 subscribers. And in the PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, which is again less than 1 rupee a day, giving you 2 lakhs coverage in case of any mishap, has 5.49. So out of total around 25 crore families in the country, there is a security cover to around 18-19 crore families, which is not a small thing. And recently the World Bank Findex report came, which is very interesting, tells us that total 51.5 crore accounts were opened worldwide, of which 55% were opened in India in 3 years, from 14 to 17. And the figure is continuing to increase. There was a gender gap of around 20% in the female having a bank account likelihood. Now this has come down to 6%. 80% of the adults in the country have an account. And therefore, the scheme has been extremely successful, unprecedented, and this is recognized world over.
The very fact that, you have 53% of the account holders in PM Jan Dhan Yojana are women. This is something which is, in a country like India, if this scheme has succeeded in doing this, it should be commended. So it's a big, big success.
Right. And therefore, the Cabinet has approved yesterday to further improve it, to ensure that you universalize the thing. Now, the objective was to have an account in every household, which has been expanded to cover now every adult of the country. And the overdraft limit, which was of rupees 5,000 available to Jan Dhan account holder, has been increased to 10,000 rupees. So this is for a kind of a working capital which for the small businesses you can get. If anywhere you get a working capital and for a day, it doesn't charge even an interest in a day. So one can take this amount, return it and then take it again. So this is also moving towards a formalization to save you from money lenders and all. And up to 2,000, there is no conditions. Means there is no condition of having a minimum balance or so much of drawals and this type. And the upper age limit has also been increased from 60 to 65 years because the life expectancy is increasing in the country, and by up to 65 one is certainly able to contribute, and therefore the age has been increased. Simultaneously, to the new Jan Dhan accounts now, when we are moving towards the account for every adult, the insurance coverage, which is free, has also been increased from rupees 1 lakh to rupees 2 lakhs. So all this is aimed to quickly achieve the coverage of all the adults and therefore complete the process of financial inclusion.
3 main targets or the objectives of PM Jan Dhan Yojana have been: A, provide bank accounts to someone who earlier was not getting the bank account. B, disburse money of the social sector schemes through DBT to these accounts. And third was to provide basic minimum financial services or amenities like insurance to those who were not able to afford it. These 3 objectives, as far as first phase of this, if I may call it, PM Jan Dhan Yojana, that has been achieved. Now from here, if you look at what is the percentage of DBT payment which is going through Jan Dhan accounts, that would be something, which the government would look at going forward. Secondly, as compared to the insurance coverage prior to Jan Dhan and now, what could be the target in next 4 years or so? That could be one area which government would like to look at. And third, how much of this availability of money in Jan Dhan bank accounts of the poor, can be utilized by them to become self-employed? So these are three areas, where going forward, obviously government would try to improve performance of PM Jan Dhan Yojana going ahead.
As I mentioned, the digital pipeline has been created. It's a kind of a physical pipeline of linking the accounts to Aadhaar to mobile. All in the country now, the number of accounts, number of Aadhaars and number of mobiles are in the range of 110 to 120 crores each. By linking all three, one has created a kind of a physical infrastructure on which you can digitally move. Today the transactions in 1 month in June 18, the digital transactions have touched close to 26 crores, which involves an amount of 41,000 crores. So this is the kind of digital movement. Leaving that, now the creation of physical infrastructure is one part. The second part is the creation of the financial instruments through which you can reach the underserved. So now you have pension products, as I mentioned, Atal Pension Yojana. You have saving deposits, you have micro insurance, as I mentioned, PM Suraksha Bima Yojana and PM Jeevan Jyoti Yojana. You have overdraft facility, which is all passing through this pipeline. And you have the Mudra loans. The Mudra loans is another where you can take without collateral up to 10 lakhs. So it's close to 13 crore accounts which have been funded during this year. So the aspirational country, the youth which is in the age group of 15 to 24 is around 23%, and in the productive age group of 25 to 60 is another 56 crore. This is the aspiration. Everybody has to be included financially. And as you know, we are now the 6th largest economy and growing fastest at 12.9% in the world. So no growth is complete unless one is able to reach the underserved and include everybody financially. So this expanded and extended Jeevan Jan Dhan Yojana approved by Cabinet, the Honorable Prime Minister yesterday, is targeted to achieve all this and as early as possible.
And one of the very critical points, of PM Jan Dhan Yojana is its linkage with Aadhaar. 83%, correct me if I am wrong, 83% of the Jan Dhan accounts are now linked to Aadhaar, which means you have a direct linkage as far as personal identity or the financial identity of a person is concerned. Absolutely, you have wiped out any chances of leakage of that sort. So increasingly going forward, if we can, force all the DBT payments, states and center, everyone, both the sides, through Jan Dhan accounts, at least for the poor, that will be a great success. So is there a strategy to increase DBT payment? Because right now, DBT payments has been, what is the amount of DBT payment, if you can just tell us? And also, is there a target or a roadmap through which you want to move ahead in terms of DBT payment?
The entire effort is to pass all the government benefits under these schemes through the DBT so that you can remove any intermediaries. The money should directly reach the accounts of the beneficiary. That's what is the major emphasis of the government. And therefore, the creation of this physical infrastructure was a kind of a precondition. Unless you create the accounts, unless you link them, you cannot reach to the masses. So, the DBT is happening under large number of schemes of the government, and ultimately, the entire benefits is to reach through only the DBT directly to the accounts of the holder.
Because now you have post office bank account, one expects and hopes that post office bank will click so that your reach extends to far-flung areas in the country where your infrastructure is to an extent, lacking in terms of public sector banks or private sector banks. Although digital or the mobile mode allows Jan Dhan account holders to get the benefits of Jan Dhan Yojana. But at some point of time, you would also need to a basic extent, physical infrastructure also which post office bank can achieve. So this linkage, how do you see, Mr. Panda, if you can explain?
I think we have created an excellent banking ecosystem, and in which the digital ecosystem is also embedded. And Jan Dhan account is basically targeting the people who are in the rural and remote areas. And over the years, what has happened in the last 4 years is a phenomenal success, both in terms of opening of accounts and coverage under the micro insurance products, pension products. DBT, as said earlier, has been flowing through this. More than 7.5 crore account holders have received some or the other benefit through the DBT. So I think in times to come, what we are looking at, as said earlier, that the digital pipeline is taking care of channelizing all these products to the ultimate beneficiary. And credit, which is the biggest requirement today for starting entrepreneur, is the Mudra loan. It is a small loan from 50,000 to 10 lakhs coming without any collateral. And that is what the youth is looking for to start a small business. So this is going to also facilitate further. So what we are ultimately looking at through this pipeline, through the Jan Dhan accounts, look at a secured, insured, a digitized and a financially empowered India.
Yeah, that's quite correct. Greatest success of Jan Dhan Yojana would be if it creates, an ecosystem where through Jan Dhan accounts you have an entrepreneurial world where those who at the lower rung of the society, those who want to do their own business or do something of that sort, they neither had bank account earlier nor they had any finances. So Jan Dhan account can provide you that. So how do you see that movement, Rajiv Kumar?
I'll mention one more thing here. People hear many things about the banking sector. The entire banking. This is not only a physical infrastructure which has been created, not only an ecosystem which has been created. Ecosystem, I'll just further clarify. There are around 125,000 branches across the country of the banks. There are around 150,000 bank mitras around the country. Another 1.5 lakh post offices. So, the entire touch points are being increased tremendously, and as I mentioned, the UPI transactions have touched already in a month 26 crores involving a value of 41,000 crores. So, what is the future? The future is to be the technology-driven future. And how the technology supports it? The entire banking services, entire insurance services, including the farmers' Fasal Bima Yojana, everything has to be technology-driven in the sense that you drive all benefits through the accounts by linking to the technology. And therefore all banks have taken it on themselves to create a situation where you get entire banking facility, insurance facility at a click of a button, either through the mobile or from the comfort of your home. That's the future, and that's what a developed society should look like. That's what an aspirational society, a society which has youth more and more, should be driven.
So, as it stands today, what PM Jan Dhan Yojana has ensured is that for years, financial inclusion, which was there in drawing board or in papers,
Yes.
Now PM Jan Dhan Yojana has created an edifice
That's
across the country, which is digital, which is transparent, which is leakage proof to a large extent. You cannot expect beyond this,
and
leakage.
Which banks the unbanked,
which banks the unbanked,
which serves the underserved areas, and which secures the unsecured.
Mm-hmm.
Simultaneously, the society also has to move towards an insured society. What is Ayushman Bharat now? Ayushman Bharat is another great initiative of covering 50 crore persons. All this has to pass through this tunnel of digital accounts only. Therefore, the society has to move towards this, and I'll request everybody that these insurance schemes, whomsoever one should take immediately, which is just at 1 rupee per month, or both put together at one less than a rupee a day. Whomsoever all your colleagues, all your workers, everybody must take this. It is very, very handy at the time of crisis, though I hope that it doesn't happen with.
So Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has rightly pointed out that Jan Dhan Yojana has been a runaway success. But yes, this runaway success has to be emboldened further, and I'm quite sure that the way government has taken up the improvement exercise, this will certainly happen.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Rajiv Kumarji and Panda Sahab.
You were listening to a discussion on recent cabinet decisions. The participants were Rajiv Kumar, Secretary, Department of Financial Services, Debashish Panda, Additional Secretary, Department of Financial Services, and Santosh Tiwari, Journalist. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of All India Radio. This program is also available on our website newsonair.nic.in. You may email your opinion about this program at airnsdtalks@gmail.com.